Hello again, everybody. We're going to continue on through 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is part 7 of Sci-Fi Read Aloud. We're going to finish chapter 4 today. Enjoy that. But Ned, you, a whaler by profession, familiarized with all the great marine mammalia, you, whose imagination might easily accept the hypothesis of enormous cetaceans, you ought to be the last to doubt under such circumstances. That is just what deceives you, Professor, replied Ned. That the vulgar should believe in the extraordinary, comets traversing space, and in the existence of the antediluvian monsters in the heart of the globe may well be, but neither astronomers nor geologists believe in such chimeras. As a whaler, I have followed many a cetacean, harpooned a great number, and killed several. But, however strong or well-armed they may have been, neither their tails nor their weapons would have been able to even scratch the iron plates of a steamer. But Ned, they tell of ships with the teeth of the narwhal have pierced through and through. Wooden ships, that is possible, replied the Canadian. But I have never seen it done, and until further proof, I deny that whales, cetaceans, or sea unicorns could ever produce the effect you describe. Well, Ned, I repeat it with a conviction resting on the logic of facts. I believe in the existence of a mammal powerfully organized, belonging to the branch of vertebra, like the whales, like the cachalots, or the dolphins, and furnished with a horn of defense of great penetrating power. Said the harpooner, shaking his head with the air of a man who would not be convinced. Notice one thing, my worthy Canadian, I resumed. If such an animal is in existence, if it inhabits the depths of the ocean, if it frequents the strata lying miles below the surface of the water, it must necessarily possess an organization of strength of which would defy all comparison. And why this powerful organization? Demanded Ned. Because it requires incalculable strength to keep oneself in these strata and resist their pressure. Listen to me. Let us admit that the pressure of the atmosphere is represented by the weight of a column of water 32 feet high. In reality, the column of water would be shorter, as we are speaking of seawater, the density of which is greater than that of fresh water. Very well. When you dive, Ned, as many times 32 feet of water as there are above you, so many times does your body bear a pressure equal to that of the atmosphere, that is to say 15 pounds, for each square inch of its surface. It follows then that at 320 feet, this pressure equals that of 10 atmospheres. Of 100 atmospheres at 3,200 feet and 1,000 atmospheres at 32,000 feet, that is about 6 miles, which is equivalent to saying that if you could attain this depth in the ocean, each square 3/8 of an inch of the surface of your body would bear a pressure of 5,600 pounds. Ah, my brave Ned, do you know how many square inches you carry on the surface of your body? I have no idea, Mr. Aronnax. About 6,500. And in reality, the atmospheric pressure is about 15 pounds to the square inch. Your 6,500 square inch bear at this moment a pressure of 97,500 pounds. Without my perceiving it. Without your perceiving it. And if you are not crushed by such a pressure, it is because the air penetrates the interior of your body with equal pressure. Hence, perfect equilibrium between the interior and exterior pressure, which thus neutralize each other, and which allows you to bear it without inconvenience. But in the water, it is another thing. Yes, I understand, replied Ned, becoming more attentive, because the water surrounds me, but does not penetrate. Precisely, Ned. So that at 32 feet beneath the surface of the sea, you would undergo a pressure of 97,500 pounds. At 320 feet, 10 times that pressure. At 3,200 feet, 100 times that pressure. And lastly, at 32,000 feet, 1,000 times that pressure would be 97,500,000 pounds. That is to say, that you would be flattened as if you had been drawn from the plates of a hydraulic machine. The devil! Exclaimed Ned. Very well, my worthy harpooner. If some vertebrate several hundred yards long and large in proportion can maintain itself in such depths, of those whose surface is represented by millions of square inches, that is, by tens of millions of pounds, we must estimate the pressure they undergo. Consider then, what must be the resistance of their bony structure and the strength of their organization to withstand such pressure. Why, exclaimed Ned, they must be made of iron plates 8 inches thick, like the armored frigates. As you say, Ned, and think what destruction such a mass would cause if hurled with the speed of an express train against the hull of a vessel. Yes, certainly, perhaps, replied the Canadian, shaken by these figures, but not yet willing to give in. Well, have I convinced you? You have convinced me of one thing, sir, which is that if such animals do exist at the bottom of the seas, they must necessarily be as strong as you say. But if they do not exist, mine obstinate harpooner, how explain the accident to the Scotia? Thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with Chapter 5.